Good morning, friends and family. Sun is shining brightly out there. It's still morning time. I'm still having coffee. So, in my coffee talk today, I want to touch on. And oh, by the way, y'all, before we start this conversation, all of you come on in. All of you who wish to come in and sit around. I'm not sitting at the table, and Sassy's in my way here. um, I'm sitting on my futon, and a thought came to me about some things. But grab your coffee, grab your tea, your cappuccino, whatever it is that you're drinking at this point in time in the morning. It's Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? Yeah, I think it's Tuesday, and uh, just been sitting here thinking. So come sit down, join me. Um, let's have it's not serious, but it is serious. I mean, it depends on where you're at in life and what you're doing in life. But I think that this will benefit all of us. This little talk, and take away from it what you will for your own life. Don't base everything that I'm saying on your life. Naturally, we're all going to do it differently, but the bottom line is still the same pattern that uh, we could all use in our everyday living. So, you all know, and I've been talking to you about how I've been uh, trying to find simpler solutions for me to live a more abundant life without spending a lot of money, with the ability to be able to enjoy my home, my surroundings, be comfortable, and just be happy, just be overall happy and content with what I have. And of course, I'm not saying it's been easy. It certainly hasn't been easy, especially during wintertime. And and of course, as you all know, I'm 81, and I've been fortunate enough to have something in my life, whether it be in my DNA, whether it be in my consciousness, whether it be in my mindset, I do not know. But according to society, at this age, I should look more old and decrepit and everything. And but that's not the case. So, but I've been sitting here thinking this morning, with my doing everything that I've been doing to not to be able to have life and have it more abundantly with less, without having to go out and buy uh, big expensive uh, ways to live. And of course, that I have had to make some adjustments. I've had to make uh, different arrangements to keep and have what I would like to have, like my coffee. Okay, naturally, I got to get my coffee from the store, and I've went with different avenues before, and some of that didn't work out. So I'm back to almost the basics. I really would like to go back to the basics of the old percolator coffee pots that you would sit on an open fire, and the pots were made out of, I don't know what they were. They had some kind of uh, a finish on them, and the pots were blue and they had white dots all over them. And you could set them on an open fire, and that would percolate your coffee. And had the inside suit, you put the coffee in the top. And so I'd like to get me another one of them, and that would even be more simpler. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, way back, well, my mom used to drink instant coffee. I've not ever been able to get used to the taste of instant coffee, but I could go that way, but I don't know yet. So, but I'm thinking about even going simpler without having to use electric. Because if it push come to shove, especially in the summertime, if I didn't have any propane, uh, I could start a little fire outside and put my coffee pot, my percolator on a rack on it, and make my coffee that way. But thinking in these terms have got me to realize and understand, uh, and I'm sure everybody that's listening to me right now have seen all the changes that's been going on in the United States. That's without looking at the rest of the world. But the rest of the world's going through just as much as we're going through, and in some cases, a lot worse. And there's and across the world, you'll have individuals that want to fight back, fight the system back, and they go out and protest and cause a lot of havoc, and because they're angry, and that's understandable that everybody's angry with all the changes that are going on. And I, me myself, I never was, even in my younger days, as far as angry and wanting to fight back. I never was one to protest and go out in the streets because I never seen the point to it. And today, I kind of understand what everybody's trying to do, but that's not the way to do it. I figure this: first of all this stuff out here that's been going on is pushing humanity into living the way they want us to live. And like they said, you'll own nothing and be happy. Well, in one sense of the word, I can understand part of that. That you wouldn't, say if you owned your own house, uh, you have to make all the repairs on it, anything that goes wrong with it, and you got to have the money to be able to do that and come up with a way to fix it. And if you live in a city, you got water coming in because you want to shower, you want to cook, you want to do everything. You need water. You need water to drink. So, and you got to trust that what's coming in that water is safe for you. But a lot of times it's not. So we we have got ourselves to the point where we want convenience. And part of it is because everybody out there has to work or feel like, and we've been told we have to work in order to live a good, comfortable life. And when in fact that's really not true. That there's no basis for that. So if we can get ourselves to the point where we don't need all this convenience, if you don't need to work 40, 60 hours a week to have a good life and have a content, peaceful life, have everything that you need, protesting's not going to get it done. And the more we buy, the more we allow them to push us into a lifestyle that we can't afford, and then we end up homeless. They're getting wealthy off of us. They're and the fear that they produce and all of that. A lot of them live off of that fear and that excitement that they get from all these thousands of people being fearful. Some way, how or another, they get a rise out of that. I don't know. I don't understand that. So, my what I'm doing is kind of sort of like, I don't know. I know you've all heard of the Amish and the Quakers and stuff. They all live a very minimal lifestyle, and they raise everything themselves. Well, a lot of us can't do that, and I understand that. A lot of us can't do that. Um, so I figure my protesting is going to be live a more simpler, less complicated life that I don't need all of those things that they're promoting us to buy to live a more well, what's the word, convenient, uh, more uh, sustainable life with all the conveniences that they so-called provide. So if I can get myself to a point where I can live just as much as a satisfactory life and be happy and content with a few things around me that I'm happy with. I remember back when I was a teenager, uh, mom had finally went and bought a stereo on terms, and it had a TV in it, it had a stereo in it, and we would listen to music. Mom listened to classical music. Oh, she was getting up there, I'm telling you. and and I never knew. Growing up, I never knew mom liked that kind of music. We were raised on country music, and then when I got to be in a teenage year, then I was raised on Brenda Lee and Patsy Cline and um, all them folks, George Jones. So she listened to the country, but she also listened to classical music. And I think mom was trying to have her own way of teaching us that there was more out there than what we were raised on. That there's arts. There's without saying to us, well, Joyce, you draw very good. Now, mom drew too. Joyce, why don't you take this talent and let's see what we can do with it? But mom didn't have the money to do that. So the best way she could probably introduce us to other things was the classical music on vinyl. But that was a simple life back then. We lived in a little small village, had little stores there and stuff that we could go shopping at. They had a little um, a 70s uh, the little place where we'd go and get our cokes and our sundaes and stuff like that. We had a little record shop there, and we could be out on the streets at night after 10 o'clock and nobody bothering us except if we were girls. There might be some boys cruising along from out of state looking for a fun time, so to speak. But we were smart enough not to fall for that. But jump forward to now, I mean, the technology and everything that came from back that when I was born through the years has, man, the speed of it has come. It's right on top of us now. I mean, it's just faster, faster, and faster. And uh, whoever wants to be wealthy and rich, not looking at they're looking at us as ways for them to uh, uh, fear us into uh, buying this, and this, even though we can't afford all of that. And a lot of people, well, I need this to live, so they find other uh, criminal activity to get what they need. And it's just a vicious circle, vicious circle, vicious circle. So I'm thinking that since I'm doing what I'm doing, I can't really go off grid right now and have my own solar and have my own water supply, which I kind of do have my own water supply. I have from the well. Now my daughter and her son has filtration system in their house, but I'm fine with the well water. Sometimes it has some rust in it, but I think a lot of that was because the pump was too low into the ground, and but there's still going to be some in there. So I'm having the filtered water through the earth that I drink, and so I've got I've got good mineral water to drink, and so okay, what do I need? Well, since I've changed my eating habits, which if I go clean back to what we believe is the beginning of time for us, if if those words are true in Genesis, it says, "Here's what I want you to eat." Told us what we were to eat, told what the animals were to eat, and it didn't say what the fish were supposed to eat. But that's all provided in the oceans for them to eat what's in there. So, but animals, it didn't say anything about eating other animals. It said the animals was to eat the foliage and the grass and that kind of thing. The humans were to eat seed bearing, um, like fruit and herbs, and the Bible even talks about herbs for medicine and herbs to heal the nations. And now I don't know how much our physiological our uh, bodies have changed through the years by starting eating meat and different various things, and how humans have decided to come up with their own, making their own different kinds of food and stuff. I don't know how much that has changed us, but I feel, what have I got to lose? If we were told once that that's what we were to eat, well then what's the harm of me going back to that? Now I grant you, don't I am not growing my own fruit trees and stuff like that, and so I have to go to the store to get it. So that's what I do. So lessening everything that I need to have a good, solid, healthy, enjoyable life, that I don't have to go out and buy a bunch of stuff and make whoever out there wealthy. Focus on me and what I can do to make me wealthy and healthy and live a fine, enjoyable life. That's my protesting, folks. That's the way I protest. How we can protest is be just as happy and joyful and shine our light and push out the darkness. That is the best protesting we can do. I can do anyway. And get out there and ride your bicycles. I can't ride a bicycle right now. In fact, I never really was very good at riding a bicycle. Never was. But get out there and ride our bicycles in summertime if you live someplace where it's winter too. But if you live someplace where it's mostly nice all the time, get out and ride your bicycles all the time. Uh, enjoy the sun. Enjoy the sun was put there for a reason, folks. Our bodies were designed to let the sun help feed us. The nutrients from the sun helps this body. So the more sun, and that's without sunscreen, folks. I do not use sunscreen. Now, there was a time there I tried it. Now, I don't use it. I don't use bug spray. I did try it. I don't use it. And so that's how we protest, folks. By downsizing our life, but still to the point where we're enjoying it. Life is more simpler. We don't have to go out there and spend $100, $200 on a coffee pot. We don't have to go out there and spend 200,000 on a home. We don't have to go out there and spend uh, uh, $700, $800 on a wash machine and a dryer. $1,600 for washer and dryer. There's find ways that fits you. Now, like I can't wash my clothes at my daughter's, which she's changing her laundry detergent because of certain things I'm allergic to. Now, there's a reason, folks. There's a reason why people are got all these symptoms. Laundry detergent, perfume, um, this different soaps and stuff we use. My hair does so much better since I don't wash it as much as I used to. I let the oils work in it now. Just different things. So finding ways for me to live a more simpler life, but nicer. I mean, I can put my money into uh, making my surroundings feel more pleasant to me. Put my money into the color curtains that I would want, the color sofa that I would like, um, a nicer, thicker carpet underneath me, instead of big, expensive roasts and uh, spend $200 or $300 a week on food. And I'm still healthy. So that's my way of protesting, folks. So I hope that you all can find your way of protesting that's best for you. Uh, writing letters and stuff. A lot of people like doing that to the congressmen and stuff. That might help in some instances. No, Do your protesting within yourself, within your own your life. Find ways that you can do without what they're trying to sell you, what they're trying to tell you, and tell you that you got to live this way. You got to go out and buy tons and tons of sunscreen. They don't want, there's people out there that don't want you healthy. And the sun is good for you. Our eyes need to get that in us. Our skin needs that D3 in us. There's other things that's going on that the sun gives us. You ever watch a dog or some, when you let it outside and it's nice and sunshiny out, it'll go out and just sprawl out in that sun. Now, why do you suppose that is? Because they need that sun. Well, I was just thinking out loud, folks, that I might not go out and stand on the pavement for hours and hours and make gestures and yell and scream and holler and have signs. Here's my sign right here, me, and what I'm doing, and the light shining out, and the love shining out, and the compassion for other people. Little children on the street that don't have any food to eat. This is I can't get out there and I can't help them, but I can shine my light to ward off the darkness, to let the love come out, and by doing this. So each of us can find our way to push the darkness out without going out on the streets and making havoc. Because that's what whoever and whatever like. They like fear, they want destruction, and they want to eliminate the light. So remember, a merry heart doeth good like medicine. And that's Proverbs 17:22. And as a man thinks in his heart, that's what he will be. That's Proverbs 23:7. And Henry Ford says, if you believe you can, or if you believe you can't, you're right. So find your way to let your light shine. Love y'all. Hugs and kisses. Talk to you later.